Chapter 6, The Western Road. I am more awake tonight for this recording session than I was last time, so hopefully my commentary should be a little bit more on point this time. Entry number 4, 4th day of the 2nd month of spring. The Great Western Road stretches toward the kingdom of... The Great Western Road towards the kingdom of Aurelia stretches ever onward, winding like some dusty brown serpent through an ocean of grass. The spring air is still crisp, yet I can already notice how much warmer the weather is, even compared to just a week previous. The grass grows thick and verdant across the plains, providing food for a wide variety of wildlife. Not a day goes by without us catching sight of a passing herd of pronghorn or bison. On occasion, we even spot a pride of lions lounging about in the sun. The more we travel the Southlands, the more I'm struck by just how truly beautiful of a land it is. Of course, the peacefulness of the plains stands in stark contrast to the bloody battle we fought just a handful of weeks prior. It is almost surreal to think about, looking at the idyllic landscapes before us. Most of us have put the incident at the Rittermark out of our minds by this point, I think. Yet, for some reason, I find myself ruminating on the events of that day even now. Something about that skirmish with Valakan soldiers bothers me, something I find difficult to parse out with words. Hopefully, it is nothing too serious. Tonight we will arrive at Brementown, which will provide us an inn to rest at before we continue on to Aurelia and the city of Vercine. With any luck, my sleep will not be troubled any further by strange and sinister dreams. Brementown, which you may remember if you played or experienced Black Dragon in some capacity. We won't actually see the inside of the town in this case. My, it is awfully warm today. Feels almost as though summer has come earlier this year.
I know, isn't it wonderful? Oh, warm weather, never leave me again, please.
It is a perfect day for travel. We'd best start down the road while the sun still shines. We're still a long ways off from the city of Vercine. At our current pace, I estimate it'll be another 2 weeks till we arrive.
After all the travel we've done already? Why am I not surprised?
Look over yonder, in the distance. Can you see that?
Have you spotted something, Zayan?
I see it too. What looks to be a group of people gathered around something. What could they be doing, I wonder? Only one way to know for certain. With any luck, it'll be something that won't mean trouble for us.
This blasted carriage! I swear if it breaks an axle one more time, I'm going to chop the fucking thing into kindling.
Please try to calm yourself, sire. Shouting at the carriage will do nothing to fix it.
I'm not stupid, man. I know it won't fix anything. All I'm saying is I'd be back to Vercine twice as fast if I rode on horseback on my own. Hell, I'd ride bareback if I had to. It'd be worth the ache I'd get in my balls.
Please be reasonable, King Marcus. Were you to go gallivanting off on your own with no retinue, you'd be at risk of attack by highwaymen.
Ha! I'd relish the challenge. I need no honor guard to keep myself safe from brigands. Lest you forget, we came all this way for a reason. The areas in Vercine all know I am their king. The arenas in Vercine all know I am their king, and so they hold back against me. We can't go getting His Majesty killed in a duel. Wouldn't be proper. Their pettiness robs me of a worthwhile test of my prowess, and forces me all the way out here. Only in backwater towns like Bremen can I hope to conceal my identity and have a fight worth a damn. Ha, but what a fight it was last evening. Well worth the effort to slog all the way out here. A pity my royal retinue of guards proved such dead weight round my ankles.
Our presence is a necessary evil, my king. We cannot risk the life of the king, even one so strong as you.
I have half a mind to consider that an insult of my abilities. But we're getting nowhere fast, and I'd like to change that. Oi, slaves!
You called, Master Marcus?
That's King Marcus, thank you kindly. Have this broken axle mended at once. If you can fix it within the hour, I'll grant you extra rations tonight.
As you wish, my king. Hello, begging your pardon?
Eh? Who speaks to me?
What seems to be the trouble over here?
And who are you lot? A troop of traveling mummers? No, you're not quite queer enough for that role.
He's got a crown on his head, Altair. You don't suppose... Is this King Marcus we're speaking to?
Who wishes to know? What, are you assassins come for my head?
What could possibly give you that idea?
You're certainly armed and dangerous, that's plain to see. You'll find me no easy prey. Have at you, bastard!
Son of a fucking... Have you gone mad, man? You nearly took my head off.
Not half bad. You've got some skill, I'll admit. Perhaps this will be an enjoyable challenge.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy in this world. Stop this at once! We are not assassins, we are mercenaries. Mercenaries hired on your behalf, King Marcus.
What prattle is this, hired on my behalf? I take poorly to being played tricks on, I'll warn you.
Seems he wasn't at the capital when Reinhardt's letter arrived. Meaning he has no clue about our coming. Thank God King Reinhardt had the foresight to predict this possibility. Here, this should explain for us.
A scroll? Let me see this. Oh, that makes it clearer. My good brother went and hired you to help clean up my pirate problem. I do recall asking him for knights, not sellswords. But I suppose you'll do in a pinch. Alas, your timing is poor. My royal carriage is broken down, see? It'll be some time before we can make our return to Vercine.
Perhaps we could do our part to help with the repairs?
No need. Why should you do the work when my slaves are here?
Your slaves?
Of course. Every man with reasonably deep pockets owns a slave or two. As king, I have close to 1,000.
I see. A king, you say, in my territory? Well, isn't that music to my ears?
Who said that? Show yourself!
Marcus the Brash himself graces my presence. I'm so very flattered, and so very fortunate. With so few soldiers to protect you, you may as well give me all your gold. It'll save us the trouble of slaughtering you here.
Slaughtering us? You? Don't make me laugh. I am not a man who folds at the first hint of danger. Test me, and you'll find yourself losing a limb at best, brigand.
I should have known that you'd be difficult. But that's no trouble. You don't seem to realize you're outnumbered. Come on out, boys. The king seems eager to play. Damn it, there was a whole pack of them lying in wait for us. There's too many for us to hold out with our numbers.
Ha, this horde of sheep does not frighten me in the slightest. I could flatten the lot of them with a hand tied behind my back.
We cannot have you risking your life, my liege. King Marcus, allow us to drive these miscreants off for you. We have experience fighting brigands like these.
Oh, come now. I am not so fragile that I'd break apart at one strike. Let me crack some skulls, for God's sake.
Your cart will not be repaired any faster if your slaves are killed. If you want to return to Vercine, you'd better keep watch over them.
Ugh, what a nuisance. Fine, go and take all the glory for yourselves, sellswords. But do try to make certain my slaves survive this battle. I'll reward you if they do, but if they perish...
It shouldn't be that much trouble. These lads look to have a cowardly disposition. If we bring their leader down, they should scatter like locusts.
Do what you will, but do it quickly, I say.
Alright, and it is time for the map. We have gained one extra deployment slot from last time, so I believe it is time to do some reorganization of my party, and in that case, I will see you all in a second. Alright, I'm back. Here is how everybody's inventories are looking. I did make it a point to grab a couple of the stat rings out of the convoy. Bellona's getting the skill ring because she's wielding axes, although I'd argue that there's probably other characters who could maybe make use of it a little bit better. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Altair got the defend ring from the boss from the last chapter, and since he's essentially a lord, I figure I might as well keep it on him for the time being. Now, as for the map itself, so as was stated in the opening, the objective here is kill the boss, which in this case is Levine, a bandit leader who only targets the wealthiest of victims. He continues my brigand naming trend by being named after Adam Levine of Maroon 5, aka the most selloutiest of men in rock. He is a druid, mages who practice the Eldercraft to confound and curse their foes. He also comes with this, the Build Ring, a ring that raises con by 3 while in a unit's inventory. This is a new stat ring that was not a thing I put in Darius the Conqueror, and it does exactly what it says, boost your con, making it easier for you to carry certain types of weapons. Now, as stated, the big gimmick of this map is keeping Marcus and his 3 slaves safe. Marcus here, the King of Aurelia, known as the Brash for his short temper. He's a warrior, famed fighters who barge into battle with axes, bows, and brute force. Marcus is an interesting unit because he's actually going to be joining the party later on, but not with these stats. These are basically just the warrior's base stats, and in Marcus's case, it's actually not what he's going to keep. We also have his slaves, a Jarani slave owned by King Marcus Aurelius, a civilian and an innocent peasant caught up in the chaos of war. They are predictably not very strong, but thankfully most of the enemies aren't too close to them, so as long as you clear them out in a reasonable fashion, they should be fine. We also have 2 potential recruitable units. We have Mohammed over here, and we have this female myrmidon named Nava. I'll go over them in a minute once we actually start the map. So yeah, basically just clean out all the bandits that are close by. There are going to be some reinforcements that will come over here. But yeah, I think it's probably best for us to save and just get started.
The plains crawl with brigands. If they enter into Bremen town, blood will spill. In spite of all that has happened to me in that town, I cannot let that come to pass. These people do not deserve to suffer at the hands of the wicked. I slipped loose from one set of chains only to walk right into another. Caught by Levine and pressed into his service against my will. I look for a chance to cut his throat and flee, but none arises. Am I doomed to die bound by my chains?
Alright. Actually, something I probably should have brought up right away. This is the first example of a thing that I'm making it a point to do in this hack, which is pre-designed maps. Now, for my previous 2 ROM hacks, Black Dragon and Darius the Conqueror, I attempted, to varying degrees of success, to design all the maps myself, and I am not entirely happy with how a lot of them came out, so for this project I ended up deciding to try and pull from pre-designed maps that are found on the FE Universe resource repo where I could, just for the sake of, it saves time, and it saves me the headache of trying to design maps, mostly because of these fucking things, these peak terrain tiles, which are the most annoying thing to try and fucking navigate in the FE Builder map editor. But that is besides the point. We need to start clearing out some enemies, so I think it is time we go and do that. But before we do that, we might as well get our next party member right away. Oh, a Jarani? All the way out here? Are you a slave of one of the citizens of Bremen town? I shall thank you not to make assumptions, please. I am a man, not a slave. A freedman, then. I might have guessed from your garb. Forgive us the error in calling you a slave. You would not be the first to make that error, my friend. To call yourself a freeman while boasting dark skin is difficult. The people of Bremen town serve as a perfect example. No matter how much I protested, they insisted I am an escapee. They sought to arrest me and return me to chains I've never worn.
and yet you stand vigil over the gate to the town. You would risk your life for people who treated you so poorly. To save the world means saving the ignorant and unpleasant too. And if they see my actions and realize their mistake, more the better. Or perhaps I am simply misguided in wanting to believe the best in all men. No, I find your altruism quite inspiring. If you require an advocate for yourself, you have one in me. You would go to such lengths for a stranger you have only met? It's what's right to do in our eyes. We share a common enemy in these bandits. Shall we fight as one? Quite golden of heart, the two of you. There is a saying in my country, when 6 winds blow as one, even the strongest stone tower crumbles. Let us prove the truth of those words, then. I am Mohammed. Allow me to stand at your side. Well met, Mohammed. Fight at our side as an equal. Alright. And we have a new unit, Mohammed, a Jirani traveling across the Southlands, secretive about his past. He's a hunter. I think I went over the hunter description previously. Comes with a killer bow, crossbow, and the luck ring. He's a C rank in bows. And these are his bases, and his growth rates are 40% strength, 30% magic, 55% skill, 50% speed, 40% luck, 30% defense, 45% resistance, and 75% HP. His personal skill is, if I can go down to it, Voice of Peace. Enemies within 2 tiles deal -2 damage, and he's a mounted unit, so canter. Mohammed is... I quite like using this guy. He, compared to Rachel, he has his own utility in the form of, like, movement and the canter skill. He doesn't have her extended attack range, obviously, because, you know, I'm trying to balance everything out so that every class has a little something to make use of. But yeah, Mohammed, I think, is pretty fun to use. Let's see. I need to start cleaning some enemies out. Now, one of the big things of this chapter is these 2 wyvern riders here. They're actually kind of a nuisance because they'll fly over the mountains for the squishies over here. So I want to keep Rachel somewhat close by to the starting position so she can pick them off. So we'll have her chip this guy down. And Phoebe, you are in need of some levels, so we'll have you clean up. I gave Phoebe the resistance ring, just so she can potentially serve as a bit more of a mage killer on this map, and maybe on other maps going forward. Now, Bellona, you are kind of over-leveled, actually. You started at such a higher jumping off point compared to so many of the other units we have right here. What do I want to do? I want Puck to kill this guy. I know that much. So I can't get that kill with let me think here. Mohammed is going to go this a ways so he can recruit Nava, because he is the only character who can recruit Nava of this party. So one thing I wanted to try doing is that I want to... Darius the Conqueror had a lot of instances where Darius was the guy to recruit characters, mostly just for the sake of keeping things simple on my end. But I wanted to move away from that a little bit with this hack, because I think it's nice to have... it so that your lord is not the only one who's recruiting everybody. Altair, chip down this guy. And then Puck, you can come in and finish him off. Nice crit. That was completely unnecessary. Oh, and we get the red gem. I hope that's not a bad sign, because if you watched the last video, you know that proccing that despoil skill got me in trouble, because I immediately had to reset because of a unit death when that happened. Right,
Victor. Okay, these guys... you have a Venom Axe. You know what? I'm going to have Victor go and grab something. Grab this village real quick.
Begging your pardon, you wouldn't happen to know a chap named Muhammad by chance? Durrani man, nicely dressed in fine fabrics for a drifter. I saw him get chased out the town by a local watch, though he thought he was an escaped slave. But I also saw how he kept guard over the gate to our town when those brigands started coming. Even after all we did to him, he still chose to protect us. If you see him, give him this bow, and tell him that there are some among us who are grateful. It's a hunting bow designed to strike lethal shots against both beast and bird.
And we have the hunting bow. This is a returning weapon from Darius the Conqueror, inspired by the hunting bow from Project Ember. Actually, if I can go into the inventory. Lethal to beasts and birds alike. Deals effective damage to cavalry as well as flying units. But I think I made it a little... I reduced its might a little bit compared to the one that was found in Conqueror. Mostly just because it's going to be useful against a lot of different types of classes, so I figure might as well not make it the most powerful thing in the world. And Corinne, you can get this kill. And then go over this way, because I don't want you wielding lances against those brigands. Tiresias, you can sit here. Bellona, you go over this way. And our two healers don't really have a whole lot of anything to do at the moment, so they can just... I'll give Locke a barrier boost, because that mage is nearby, and he may decide to be a problem in a minute. 27% hit. How pathetic. Flip him off, Tiresias. I still think it low-key, that mage animation low-key looks like he's flipping the guy off when he's casting that spell. I'm just silly. Right, Nava moves. That brigand moves. Get in some archery duels. And the mage goes for Rachel, which I was neither expecting nor am I necessarily happy about, but it's also not that big of a deal, because Rachel actually has some decent resistance. Give me a minute to save state. Like I said, I am going to try and be a little bit better about save stating, just for the sake of not needing to constantly reset every time I potentially die when playing this game. Man, what is with the Killer Lance having such bad hit rate? I mean, I know why it actually is. It's because I had the values that way. I think the Killer Lance doesn't necessarily have the best hit rates, just in general. Alright. Okay. Zan, I want you to get the experience from this kill. Okay. I think we'll do... I mean, we need to get Nava recruited. Let's see. You can probably just knock this guy out. Wow, 26 damage. Trample plus Puissance is definitely a combo. A wombo combo, one might say. I do want Puck to get this kill. I am using Puck long-term in place of Kukulun, mostly just because Puck is kind of a little bit more worth it in my eyes, especially with that strength growth. Because just the general utility of the Thief class is more than Kukulun's utility, and I'm a little unsure how I feel about that, because, like, again, I want to try and have as many, like, classes and characters have just something, you know. And, like, Kukulun does kind of lose you out on some of the utility that, like, a traditional thief would have. So there is that. But the thing is that I think I could go back and forth because like Puck is also not terribly strong and is a bit carried by their class promotions. Phoebe, you're gonna need to hit a couple of attacks. And you missed both of them. Wow, that's impressive, actually. Good job on that. I probably should have gone for the Myrmidon, just so I would have had weapon triangle advantage. Live and we learn, I guess. Can you feel life moving through your mind? Oh, looks like it came back for more. I am being a dork. I am being a dork. Because, well, that's what I am. I am a dork. Honestly. Like, there's no two ways about it. Okay. Zan, I want you to get this kill. We need... Don't need that much... Oh, Hammer, what do you do with the crossbow? 20 times 2. A bit of a crit rate, but it's not too bad. Might as well go get our next party member.
You are of the Sarasayad tribe, unless I am mistaken. Yes, I am. And what of you? Are you a fugitive of your master's chains? I have no master but myself. I was born a free man, and I have never ceased to be a free man. Born free in the Southlands? How is that even possible? Unless perhaps you were born in the mother country? Aye, the golden sands of Jiran are where I hail from. Alas, I have been forced to spend my days in exile from the desert. A tale much too long and complicated to tell here and now. You are lucky to even remember your time there. I was a babe in my mother's arms when the slavers came for us. All I have ever known is the life of a slave toiling endlessly in the fields of a rich farm master. My body still bears the scars of countless lashings from my master's cruel whip. The most savage lashing marks my face, leaving a gash where my eye once lay. But you claim to have escaped. How so? My master was fond of having his women slaves keep his bed warm. One night it was my turn to be his plaything for the evening. I played along, pouring him cup after cup of wine until he passed out. Whereupon I shattered the bottle and cut his throat with the glass. 'Twas bold of you to attempt such a daring escape. You are a woman of much courage. Courage, yes. Luck, not so much. I fled my master's farm only to be caught by these bandits. They offered me the choice to be turned in to face justice for the killing of my master, or assist them in plundering from the innocent, a slave in all but name. And that is where I stand now. And what stops you from leaving them? Look around you. I am surrounded by Angari men. If I disobey, they will all turn against me. If I flee, they will hunt me down. I have no allies among them who would want me to walk free. You are wrong there. You have one. He stands before you now. You would fight for me, truly? What man would not risk his life to help a beautiful lady? Beautiful, am I? Even with the missing eye? There is beauty in imperfection. Those scars are proof that you are strong enough to survive hardship. And that is proof enough of your beauty to me. This one has a tongue of pure silver. Perhaps I am not so unlucky as I once thought. I really like these two together. They definitely have a lot of chemistry, I think. Or at least I hope I've written them that way. Alright, Nava, a young Jirani who escaped slavery and turned to banditry. She is a Myrmidon. Comes with Killing Edge, Lance Reaver, Vulnerary. Comes with a C rank in swords. These are her bases, and her growth rates are 40% strength, 25% magic, 65% skill, 65% speed, 55% luck, 25% defense, 20% resistance, and 70% HP. Her personal skill is Focus, plus 10 critical if there are no allies within 3 tiles. Myrmidon class skill is Shove, and she is level 10, so she comes with the skill Vantage. If HP is under 50%, strike first when attacked. Nava, I think, is a really strong unit, but I don't know if I'm going to have space for her on my team. She does compete a little bit with Locke, who is already
pretty strong. I mean, she does have him beat in terms of, like, pure speed and skill, but outside of that, he is a little bit bulkier, and he... 25... 24... I guess not that much bulkier. But he does have better defenses, at least somewhat. So I don't know if I'm going to use her long term, which is a shame, because I really do like the way I decided to write her with Muhammad, and I do have plans for their support conversation, and hopefully it should be pretty good. I'm certainly hoping so. So Nava's mostly going to stay over in this direction. Going to stay over here because there's going to be a couple bandits that will spawn that I want to deal with at some point. Alright. Tiresias, you need to start making tracks over this a ways. Meanwhile, Joan can go up here. And I guess equip the defender just... because there's this one druid up here who has an elixir we could steal, potentially. I don't know if I will. Not sure if I'm gonna need it. I'll give this to Altair. Or I won't give it to Altair because he is not strong enough. Joy. Rachel, you need to use the U-bow in order to get the kill. Nice. Well, no, you could probably bait these guys out, although this guy has a killer axe, so I don't know if I want you to do that. You have a steel axe. Alright, I think I'll have Bellona bait one of these guys out. Iron axe, just in case she potentially doubles, which is more likely than you might think with enemies who wield steel weapons. And Locke, you can start baiting... You can start baiting a couple guys over. Tear. I won't use Temperance to kill just yet. And Altair, you can meanwhile get this conversation with Joan.
Something troubling you, Altair?
It would be more accurate to say that I am disappointed. I can't say I knew quite what to expect from the King of Aurelia, but a complete buffoon was certainly not it.
King Marcus is certainly not what I expected either. I met the king only briefly when he came to visit Geth some time ago, but even then I could tell he was a character. That I could.
If by a character you mean an immature, violent barbarian, then yes, he certainly is that. What sort of man draws his weapon on a stranger with no provocation?
I doubt I'd go to quite those lengths, but he certainly is not called Marcus the Brash for nothing. I'm told he enjoys regular visits to arenas to test his mettle. He's most partial to no-holds-barred combat, kind that is often lethal.
Yes, bad enough that slavery is legal down here, but so are blood sports. Maybe I'll simply never understand Southlander sensibilities.
Do not speak as though we think as one, Altair. King Reinhardt has been working to outlaw fighting pits across Geth, and he has long been open to the possibility of making slavery illegal.
Forgive me for my judgments. I try not to pass those often. But is that not proof of the difference between the quality of the two kings? One revels in arena battles, the other seeks to end them.
There is a reason King Reinhardt worked so hard to secure Marcus's sister's hand in marriage. The Brash is better as an ally than an enemy, but Marcus has been a loyal ally of Geth since being bound by marriage. But there's another reason our king sought to become family with Marcus, and that was he could see how young and hot-blooded the young Aurelian king was. You must remember, Reinhardt is a man nearly twice the age of Marcus. He was not quite so different from the Brash one in his youth.
Be that as it may, Marcus is still a man grown. I pray that he finds it in him to learn to act his age sooner rather than later. He will need to if Roden is to enjoy any semblance of peace. Yeah, pretty simple talk conversation. Marcus definitely is a bit of a dumbass who is in need of getting his head checked. And Locke is lower on HP than I would like. That could potentially pose a problem if that archer gets any funny ideas about hitting him and doing just enough damage to kill. Enemies moving. Alright. Moment of truth. Is Locke in danger? He is! And that guy's wielding a crossbow, so... Damn. Give me a sec. Okay, let's try that again. This time with Locke not sticking his ass so far out into the middle of danger. Admittedly, this does mean that Temperance is a little more exposed to brigand assaults. It's not too big a deal, I guess. We do have to deal with enemy druids being a bit of an annoyance, but not much more than an annoyance. An annoyance. Oh, and there we go. We have two brigands over here that would either have attacked this village or attacked Marcus and his slaves if I had not stuck somebody there to intercept them. Give me a minute to save state. I don't know if I should actually be cutting away every time I save state, because I kind of didn't do that in the last chapter. Didn't pause my commentary. As you can see, Nava uses the Lin sprites, and you'll also notice a couple pixels of white on her, which is one of the annoying parts of trying to make people of color with Fire Emblem battle animations, is that sometimes the Fire Emblem sprite makers, because they're limited to only a certain amount of colors in a palette for both character portraits and battle animations, sometimes they have colors end up getting used for both skin and the color of sword blade, which is always fun when you want to have a person of color of the character that does that, because it means that you either have to have a couple pixels of white on their skin, or you have a couple of pixels, you have like this patch of brown on their sword or weapon, which looks a little silly either way you do it, but I mean, what can you do, really? It's actually not that big a deal. I guess while we're in the mid of a down period, I can mention that I've mentioned that this was a pre-made map. It was done by Wolf, who has provided quite a few custom, or not custom, a few pre-made maps in the Fire Emblem universe resource repo. I did edit this one a little bit because there was originally this village here was supposed to be something different, but I changed it. It's not. I did that for a couple of maps where like it was originally made by Wolf, and I edited them in some capacity. But shoot, this guy dead. He's right at the cusp of level 10, so he will be getting a skill potentially once he's been trained enough. Korean, you probably could kill this guy just straight up. You double. Tai, you could use the experience, I think. Yeah. I'll use Thunder because it has more uses. And it crits, apparently. Oh, that's just barely enough to not get the kill. Damn. Rachel, you're not in range to get this killer axe, asshole. Bellona, you... Actually, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this guy's not quite in range of killing anybody, killing any of the green units. Right, right. So we can afford to let him come to us. Meanwhile, this guy... Oh, right, killer crossbow. These crossbows can be surprisingly quite annoying to deal with. Joan, you go here. And Victor, you go here. And form a bit of a defensive wall for Mary to heal you up. A-rank stabs already. The increases to weapon EXP are handedy and dandedy. Whack him with the blood edge. Alright. And just get everybody... Temperance, you go and heal Zan, actually. Just for the sake of keeping him topped off. There are some cavaliers that are going to come from the north side, so keeping the lords potentially nearby to zap them with their personal weapons is probably good policy. Nice dodge, Nava. Nava was actually named after a person who was a fan of Darius the Conqueror, who I ended up having a bit of a small chat relationship with, and then she randomly decided that she didn't want to be friends anymore for seemingly no reason. And yeah, but I figured I might as well just, you know, put a little ode, a little dedication to her in this hack, given that she did kind of help me through some of this year, which has not been, or some of 2024, which was a pretty bad year for me, all things considered. Alright, so we have some enemies to deal with. Let's start with Phoebe, you dealing with this Myrmidon here. Please get some strength, because that is some pretty pitiful damage. You do not get strength. You do get this Worm Slayer that you can't use and don't need. Alright, Corinne. You... Altair. Rachel, you start by weakening, or I guess not weakening, but just shooting this druid dead. And then Tiresias, you have a Sword Reaver. So Joan, you equip an axe. Victor, go behind her for... Or what am I thinking? Why did I have her equip the axe? It's a Sword Reaver. It's... I don't actually want Victor that ways. Okay. Tiresias, you go and knock this guy out. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. And Tiresias continuing to get some damn good level ups. I'm not surprised, he usually turns out to be one of my better units in playtesting. Yeah, there's not too much to the map yet, left of the map, but we do have... There will be a couple of enemy reinforcements that we have to watch out for. You fly over the mountain and intercept them from the other side, I guess. Altair, you weaken this cavalier so that Corinne can get le kill with a pointless critical. Because why not? She does get some strength, though. That is nice. And some speed also, actually. That is also nice. Muhammad, you go here. And Locke, you can just bring up the rear. Yep. 0 hit, 0 damage. It's sad, really. I do kind of feel like some of the enemy balancing is a little wonky with this hack, because on normal difficulty, a lot of times the enemies kind of feel a little too weak. And your units are just kind of outclassing them, but then on hard mode, the enemies feel a little too bulky, which is kind of a bit of an issue with some of the later maps of Darius the Conqueror. I mean, enemies being a little bit on the bulky side isn't always a bad thing, because sometimes it can make Slayer weapons a little bit more pointful, shall we say. But Temperance goes to level 10, and she learns her level 10 skill, which is Bond. All allies within 3 tiles recover 10% of their HP each turn. It's a nice little bonus, but not really something that's going to be affecting the outcome of battle that much, probably. Alright, so we have a bunch of cavalry here. So Zan, you can deal with this one, because he's wielding a sword. Nice, pointless crit. Mohammed, I need to give you the hunting bow. Just for the sake of making you a little bit more powerful against these cavaliers. You're not one-shotting, though. I guess I can knock this guy out. It is a useful weapon, especially because there are a pretty fair amount of cavalry classes, but, you know, it is still limited by its lack of might. Rachel, you double. Already level 9. She is one of my favorite units to use. She does feel very good thanks to extended attack range. Let's see, Joan. Joan, I kind of want to start feeding you a couple of kills, because you are very... Because you are a unit who is quite handy because of your ability to serve as a tank. But you do have some speed issues because, you know, knight. Locke, I don't think I need to give you any more EXP. I'm just going to have you be shove bot for a little bit. And Ty, you've also gained enough levels. You can swap bot. And that's still not enough to get Altair in range. 1, 2, 4, 5. Both of you are wielding. You know what? Phoebe, do some chip. Chip him down. And Bologna, you can finish him off. Meanwhile, Corinne, you can javelin. No, I will have you. Getting close. This guy's got a javelin. C rank! Lances. And then Joan go this way, and you need some lance weapon EXP, so I'll use the steel lance rather than the defender, because it will give more. Oh, Altair wouldn't have even been able to move onto that tile anyways. He could have moved this right here. Shit. That was some not-so-great planning on my part. Oh well. Probably doesn't matter that much in the long run. That little indicator of that Mary has a support with Zan is going to keep bothering me, but I'm deliberately waiting. Oh! What in the... Are those hellspawn? Here? They must have been attracted by the sound of all the fighting. Their presence could pose a problem for us. We can't risk them attacking Marcus and his slaves. Let us lay waste to them at once. Yep. So we have a few bales here. Hellspawn. Bale. Spiders of monstrous size, whose fangs are filled with lethal venom. So, bales, pretty much... they're pretty much like a bit of a slow, tanky kind of monster class, and they're going to pretty much always be equipped with poison monster weapons. So you do have to be a little careful about that. Thankfully, their hit rate is actually kind of ass, so it shouldn't be too easy to evade their attacks. And also, for some reason, I noticed that there's like a weird thing where, against bow units specifically, they seem to have like really particularly bad hit. But this one, as you may have saw, has a dragon scale, aka Draco Shield. I call it the dragon scale in my hacks just for the sake of flavor. But yeah, they are a bit of a nuisance. Altair, you don't need to smite this guy. Might as well just give you the anima rank. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. This guy drops a speed wing, but he has a cavalry killing tome. So Joan, you equip the javelin and bait him out. And in the meantime, Temperance, you go this way. We do some swapping around to get Mary in position to heal her brother, or sweet, sweet EXP, as Toffee would say. Although I should really not be attempting to do. I should really not be attempting to mimic Toffee's accent as a white man. Although I say that, and I'm already giving the Girani characters accents. So, I mean, who knows with me? I'm not above putting my foot in my mouth when it comes to subjects of race. As anyone who watched the streams I did with Lewis for Darius the Conqueror will know. But in the end, really, sometimes you do a stupid, and sometimes it just kind of ends up being like one of those things that you do it and you can't take it back, and you just kind of have to accept that you did it and move on. All right. So the only thing left is to defeat Levine, but I want that stat booster, so I'm going to let these bales approach me. So just move everybody who isn't particularly suited for combat out of the way. Alright, you... just a little bit of finagling, so that everyone's out of the way. Is everyone actually out of the way? Yes. Alright. Let the spiders approach. And now that the spiders have made their approach, Puck, if you would be so kind as to steal. You were so kind as to steal. Good job. And then... let's pick these bastards off. These bales are a bit on the tanky side. So... a power of chitinous exoskeleton. Joan, you need to land lance rank more, but I think I might as well give you a bit more axe rank. Alright. Up to level 10 she goes! And with a damn good level up, actually. And she learns the Knight's level 10 skill, which is Sturdy Stance. I already covered this thanks to the one boss from the last chapter. So I don't need to explain what that does, I don't think. Now, in the meantime, first things first, Mary, you get a little bit of AXP. And then Altair, you can burninate one of these guys. Oh no, you deal a lot of damage. So, yeah, Altair, just roast this guy. Roast Spider! Level 9, and finally you get some fucking magic. And it's not gonna be, and that level up is not going to be immediately undone by me freaking dying to something. In the meantime, Zayan, if you would be so kind, I could use the bow rank. Shoot this guy dead. He's trailing exactly one level behind Altair, and yet has slightly better stats in a lot of areas. Alright, now for the boss. The boss. So Levine has a Nosferatu, which does make him a bit of a pain, potentially. Because he will heal off damage if you are not careful. Now you can also steal his build ring, which he has 9 con naturally, so he does get weighed down pretty heavily by his Nosferatu without the build ring. In the meantime... Oh, wow. Wow, this guy gets a nice defense boost from that fort. That's a bit obnoxious, actually. I'm going to have to employ a couple of stratagems to take this guy down. Wow. He just straight up one-shots Corinne if she's carrying the Blood Edge. That's embarrassing, actually. I'm actually not entirely sure what to do here. I think I can start by boosting Bellona's resistance all the way up to 12, effectively, so that she can give this guy a bonk on the head.
Must I do everything myself? Bah, no matter. You can't hold a candle to my magic. You won't stand between me and my precious gold.
Clunk. And he heals off most all of the damage. Wonderful. Who could have seen that coming? Yes. I think I'm going to have to wait a turn before I go and deal him. I mean, basically healed off all of the damage that I did to him at that point, so fun for everyone. Luckily, we have Rachel and her amazing ranged attacks, which will allow us to chip him down. Mary gets to level 10, and the cleric level, or priest level 10 skill is, if I can get to it, Warding Stance, +6 resistance when foe initiates battle. Not super helpful, but it can make them good at tanking magic. And that can come in, have its niche uses. Niche uses, potentially. I think Muhammad is going to be the one. Bellona, you chip this guy down, and hopefully don't suffer a reprisal that heals off the damage. Nice. Go to level 11, and that was not a great level up, but hey, more resistance is nice. And then Muhammad. There's probably other characters that I would prefer to give this kill to. but I don't know if I can get any of them in range. Let's see. Oops. Nava, you cannot get in range to shove him. Yeah, and Zan can't use longbows, so he is SOL for attacking this guy. Let's see, how much... he doubles, so it doesn't really matter, but... why the hell not? Take us away, Mohammed. Critical hits means definite boss kill.
No, no, no! My precious gold slipping through my fingers. You rotten bastards. This gold is not meant for you, dude.
Alright. Muhammad grows to level 10. He gets a very fantastic level up. And he gets Poison Strike for the Hunter's level 10 skill, which I'll go over what that does at a later time. Because the chapter's over! And sure enough, the death of their leader sends the survivors scurrying into the hills. I'd say this battle is a done deal.
I've half a mind to give chase and put paid to the lot of them. What say we have ourselves a little hunt, merry men?
That is neither necessary nor practical. They've scattered far enough by now that pursuing them would only accomplish nothing except getting us lost.
Bah, killjoys, the lot of you. I spent so much time watching over my flock of slaves, I hardly had a chance to enjoy any combat. But there will be battles aplenty to be had in the future, so I suppose it's no massive loss. I must say, my soldiers could well learn a trick or two from watching the lot of you fight. What say you to a duel between the two of us, Master Locke? It's not every day I offer such an honor.
I'm flattered, really, but now is hardly the time. We have to check the progress of the repairs on your carriage.
Heavens, how could I have forgotten? Yes, let's see if we can finally start traveling again. Well, well, I'm impressed. Not only did all of them survive the skirmish, they got the damned cart axle all fixed and ready. Not bad, gypsies, not at all. As promised, extra rations for the lot of you for supper tonight. And for the rest of today's travel, take a rest in one of the supply wagons. You've earned it.
Most generous of you, my king.
Remarkably convenient things, these Jirani. I hear all the time from people who think them lazy and uncooperative. But slaves are like any other beast of burden in my experience. Treat them with respect and care, and they'll work twice as hard. It's why I pride myself on showing them the utmost generosity.
You're so very respectful comparing them to animals.
Eh? Did you say something, Sirrah?
No, not at all.
I almost forgot. I did promise you a reward for keeping them alive. Here, a small token of my appreciation.
Free blue gem, and, after I put it in convoy, free earth seal, which also goes in the convoy.
And you, who might your owner be?
Me?
If you're an escapee, then you must forgive me, but you know the law. We can't have gypsies flouting the natural order, can we?
This man is one of our own, and he's no slave. We granted him the gift of his freedom some time ago.
One of yours? But he was not among your ranks when you came upon me.
He is his own man, with his own life and family to care for. He travels with us only intermittently.
You ought to have led with that, then. You should consider yourself lucky you have friends, gypsy. It's dangerous to go gallivanting about claiming to be a freedman with no proof of such status. Here, give him this badge. It'll mark him as a freedman to prevent mistakes like this from happening.
Oh, most gracious of you, King Marcus. I shall wear it with pride.
It's no trouble at all, but take care in the future. You may not be so lucky next time.
That was much too close for my liking. I owe you my life, Sahid. Thank you so very much. Though, unless I am mistaken, do your faithful not consider lying to be a sin? Can a lie that saves the life of an innocent man truly be called a sin? In my eyes, if it is for the greater good, the Lord will forgive me in the end. I fear this badge will not protect me from as much trouble as the king thinks it would.
Prejudice against my people runs too strong in this kingdom for me to be safe on my own. Though if I am forced to travel with you for safety, I will not complain. You've proven yourself good company, Altair. Why were you traveling alone in the Southlands in the first place? You seem more than well aware of the danger of being a Jirani in the Southlands. Circumstances forced me to live this dangerous life, I am afraid. I come from the mother country, located deep within the Jiran Desert. But alas, I was driven from my homeland into exile some time ago. Nor can I return. Not yet, at the least. Driven into exile? By what, may I ask? My reasons I should prefer to keep private for the time being. All I will say for now is that I am searching. Searching for good men. Well, we'll not pry if you should prefer we do not. If it's good men you are seeking, hopefully you'll find some in us. I have a feeling that I already have, Altair Sahib. But perhaps only time will tell. And you, Nava, I believe. I procured your second badge from the king. From now on, you are a free woman, fully and truly. I never thought this day would come. You are almost too good to be true, Mohammed Sayada. It's as if you are a fairy tale prince leaping from the pages of a storybook just to rescue me. Rescue you? I did no such thing. A woman so strong as you are needs no rescuing. The power to take your fate into your hands was always something you had all along. All you needed was someone to remind you that it was there. I've no doubt you say that to all the women you meet. I say nothing aloud unless I mean it. Perhaps I am a luckier woman than I thought. My blade and life are yours, Mohammed Sayada. I will follow you into hell and back. You have my word.
Ah, what a day this has been. But finally it's time to climb back into the carriage and ride home.
King Marcus, about our contract.
We'll have time enough to hash out the details once we've reached Vercine. For now, my feet are sore and we've wasted time enough already. Doubtless you'd appreciate the chance to sit and rest, no?
You'd allow us to ride with you in the royal convoy?
Why not? You did me a favor, so you've earned the honor. Come along now, we've wasted enough precious time.
He's a strange one, that Marcus. To allow us the honor of riding alongside him for something so small.
It's most likely because he shows how strong and respects how strong and skilled we are. Even his generosity rewards those who are as warlike as he is.
It's a little asinine, if I may be completely honest. But I do sense a good heart buried beneath all his bravado. If it gets us paid and paid well, then a little brown-nosing can't hurt. Even if it is to a mad lad like him.
I am grateful for the chance to rest, if nothing else. We've still got a long journey ahead of us.
Aye, and the road runs ever on and on. And that's Chapter 6! That was not nearly as long as the last episode, although still about an hour's worth of recording, but it'll be edited down a little bit. But yeah, so much less death in this chapter than it was the last time. But yeah, not much else to say. Next chapter is going to be an interlude map, so it's going to be a little interesting to see how that plays out. But we'll get to that when we get to that next time. Until then, I've been Zane, also known as the King Bahamut. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time for Chapter 6X, aka the first interlude. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and have a lovely day.